How we doing, guys? Mike and Rick and Mike.
And today we're cooking up some chicken souvlakia. We are going to compare two different cuts.
So we've got the thighs, which is the dark, fattier bit of a chicken, skinless, boneless, so we don't have to do it. And we've got the usual breast, which is the most common used cut of chicken, hardly no fat. Can get very dry very quick.
So we're just going to run through the different cuts, how we cut them, how we skewer them. We're going to cook them up, taste them, see which one we prefer, and let you guys know which one we prefer, really. Yeah.
Shall we? So these are the two cuts we've got. This is the breast. As you can see, there's minimal fat within. It's very basic, but again, it is the most common cut for souvlakia that you'll find. And then here you can see it's a lot darker, a lot fattier, a lot more tender when it's cooked, to be fair, because of the fat. And we're just going to compare them both.
So we're going to cut the breast up first. We want to cut the breast into about 1.5 inch cubes, roughly. Obviously the breast sort of tapers down in thickness, so I know you're not going to really get it down there, but we're going to do it around 1.5 inch pieces. That way they're all sort of uniform, and then we can skewer them up accordingly. With the thigh, obviously the thigh is quite thin. I like to maybe cut one thigh up into about 3 pieces, and when we skewer them we might fold them over a little bit just to give them more volume on the skewer, so that when we cook them again they can cook at the same sort of time as the breast, because obviously they're quite thin. So we're just going to cut them up. So first of all, you want to check for any gristle, any bone that's been left in for when they've been butchered up. So you just want to kind of trim that away first. Any bits that are like this here, where there's like a tendon in it with a bit of blood in it, just cut them off. Don't have to, it's just preference really. And then we're just going to cut them up into pieces. And then the second one, same thing. So 2 breasts will do about 1.5 skewers, obviously depending on the size of the breast. With the thighs, there can be gristle hidden in there. Most of the time they are, because they're boned out and they're not always boned perfectly. But you just want to cut them, like I said, into about 3 pieces really. So we had a bit of gristle there. You just want to run your hand up and down it really to feel if you can feel anything in there, is the way to check. I'd say 3 thighs probably give you about 1.5 skewers again.
So for seasoning, we're going very basic as always. We've got salt, we've got a bit of black pepper, and we've got some oregano, homegrown Greek oregano. And for that all to stick, we're just going to be using extra virgin olive oil, which also, when you put olive oil on your meat and then you put it on the barbecue and the olive oil drips off, it creates smoke, which adds flavour from the start, which is always a benefit.
So now on to skewering. This is probably the bit that people find the most difficult, especially with the breast of the chicken. There is sort of a technique to it. If you look closely at the breast, you can see the grain of the way that the meat runs. Now you want to go opposite to that grain, so you want to run your skewer through the grain that way, which will help it hold and it's not all moving about on the skewer. If you do get a piece that's a little bit more trouble or is a little bit too thin, what I like to do is to go through the meat and come out, and then leave a bit that you can kind of twist round to go back in, and that will help secure that piece like that. Now with the thigh, there's pieces like that, the way that we cut. So we want to kind of, the best way for me to explain it is wrap round the skewer. So I've got the piece of meat like this, we're just going to go through it and then wrap it and do the same again. And that keeps it secure on there. So if you're using a Cypriot barbecue where it spins, you're not going to have to worry about it coming off. I mean, some people, like Mike, like to cheat by sticking loads of toothpicks in it to stop it from spinning round.
These are my Cypriots with the toothpicks.
But you can do it without.
So we lit the charcoal before we started prepping the meat, just to allow it to kind of turn white and get ready for cooking. As it is now, it's still too hot for souvlakia, but perfect for souvla, which is the big chunks on the rotisserie. So what we're going to do is just add some ash to it, help cool it down, and then we can get the meat on quicker. We keep our ash from previous barbecues to use for this, and you just want to sprinkle all over.
So we've let that ash settle. Where we're going to be putting the chicken, I can hold my hand for about 4 seconds before I have to pull it away. So that's sort of the ideal temperature for us that we want. We want to cook them slowly and turn them by hand. So we're just going to put them on. And we're just going to keep an eye on them and keep turning them.
So the meat's done. We're just going to move it off to the side where there's no coal. Just going to get a little bit of heat to keep it warm, and then we're going to put the bitters on and let them steam. Sometimes very tasty. Put the meat on top of the bitters so then they get the juice from the meat, then spin them, same again on the other side. It also stops the meat from cooking, but also allows heat to get to it.
Right, so all cooked. Took around the same time each cut. We're going to stick them in a bitter, some lemon, some tomato, some cucumber, taste them, see what we prefer, see what we think's better. We make them up, shall we? What's this, that knife?
Me personally, I'm a thigh man. I mean, just the fat on these compared to the breast, it just makes a big difference.
Alright.
Right, give me a good tap for the veg in. The fruit.
Right, cut them in half.
Yeah, go for it.
God, I'll give you the easy one.
Thank you. The bitters are a little bit too brown on the other side, but don't worry about that.
Alright. Now the thigh.
It's got so much more flavour.
Yeah, I'm going thigh.
All
I thought I was going to go breast because of the texture of the breast compared to the texture of the thigh, and like the bite and the way you eat it.
Yeah.
But the thigh is good, still soft, still hasn't got the texture I thought it would have, and it's full of flavour, 100 times better. It cooked better as well. Where it's got that fat in it, it drops the fat, smokes, and then it takes colour better than the breast as well.
It looks a lot more attractive as a cut of meat.
Yeah, I'm going thigh. I think the
All
thigh
day.
is best. So there you go. Doing chicken souvlakia, do it with the thigh, not the breast.
Skinless, boneless, it'd be in your supermarket.
Yep.
Just clean it properly.
We'll see you again soon.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment,
Ring the
share,
bell.
Ring the bell.
Ding 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 ding. That one.
See you later. Welcome to the Ric Show.
Ready?
How to cut. Go on then, have it. They look the same colour. There you've gone red.
Yeah, I'll go through a few of them.
Professional chef.
Yes.
Chefing or chefing?